Welcome back to the Creative Board. We hope na sobra kayo nag-enjoy at marami kayong natutunan sa episode natin with Issa na merong two parts. Yung first one, yung creative process niya as an actor, and yung second naman, yung creative process niya as a director. At dahil sobra tayong napasarap sa ating kwentuhan with Issa, meron tayong part 3 and the last part of our kwentuhan session with her. For this part, she will talk about her creative process as a writer naman. So, alam namin na excited na kayo. Ako din excited na. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode.
Sige, kailangan nating bilisan para makapag-lunch na.
Correct.
Ang pag-usapan natin tungkol sa pagiging playwright mo. Yung first question is, where do you draw inspiration from when you're writing?
Okay. So before I talk about my inspiration, gusto ko lang din i-describe. Kasi baka sabihin ng mga tao, playwright? Hindi naman siya playwright? Di ba mga nasulat niya? Nagsimula ako, kasi yung kinikwento ko nga, di ba, playwriting yung thesis ko. Nagsimula ako na thinking that I would really pursue being a playwright. And then, yung playwriting ko, parang I realized kasi my way of writing was always involving my personal experiences. Parang yun usually yung impetus ko. And not all playwrights are like that. And so yung aking playwriting practice ay nag-develop into a devising practice. So now I write as a deviser rather than a playwright. How you usually define it.
Can you elaborate more on what device writing is?
Okay, so as a deviser, parang when you create, you don't necessarily have to start or work with a text-based material. When I say text-based, not necessarily a dramatic text. Like what I was saying a while ago, it can be a recipe. It can be news reports or actual legal documents. It can be legal documents, so you can stage that. So ako, pag nagde-devise, together with my co-collaborators, tinatry namin i-piece together yung different, kasi nga may film background ako, nakakatawa, nagka-cut up ako ng mga printed scripts. Tapos para siyang puzzle, binubuo ko siya. Nagtatry ako ng iba't ibang sequencing sa kanya. So nagsusulat ako as a deviser using found material. So found text. We improvise on the found text during workshop. Parang rehearsals. Ang rehearsals mo, parang workshop siya. You workshop a process or you workshop a text, you workshop an idea or an image. So, yung kikwento kung writing on your feet. So, ang pagsusulat mo ay hindi lang through written text, pero through improvised actions or scenes. Parang ganon.
Parang I see so much of this dun sa ginagawa natin sa improv lab before, na basta may theme, diba? Tapos we start with a memory, tapos from that memory we write a script, tapos after that we just improvise the scene afterwards. Ang galing.
Yung first question mo was
yes, oo.
on
Where do you draw inspiration from?
From actual events that really moved me, that don't make me sleep at night. Alam mo yun? Parang if it's something that I really want to talk about or know more about, or it's a burning question, that's what inspires an exploration in writing.
Ano yung goal mo usually when you write something?
My gosh, what's my goal? In the work that I do, ang goal ko ay to, highlight, make visible, or uplift stories that you don't really listen to or we don't really know about because they're either silenced or they're so mundane that you don't notice it. So I'm interested in that. I'm interested in highlighting realities that we don't know about because we tend to miss them in our everyday. Yun. That's my goal.
Would you say na your audience are the ones who need to be made aware of these realities and not so much yung naka-experience din ito?
Ang ganda ng tanong mo. Tanong mo dahil yan yung tanong sa amin nun for Kapit. Parang, is this, or ito bang pagsusulat ninyo at pagsistage ninyo ng kwento ng mga survivor ng Yolanda? Ito ba'y para sa kanila o para sa mga taong hindi nakakaalam ng kwento nila? And should we show it to them? Should we show it to them? Given that, should we replay to them their trauma? Diba? So, para sa specific play na yon, ang target talaga niya yung mga tao na malayo dun sa epicenter. So, hindi yon, hindi sila. Pero, gusto ko nga sana na maibalik sa kanila, lalo na dahil matagal na. Not to re-traumatize them, but to be able to see, parang at a distance, see what happened. Kasi lalo na ngayon, ang dami na nangyari sa buhay nila. Mahaba na yung struggle nila. Siguro nakabangon na sila mula doon, o kung hindi pa sila nakabangon mula doon, malaki yung may dudulot sa kanila nang makita kung saan sila nanggaling. So, para sa akin, para sa kanila din yun. Parang there's a form of improvisation that they call it playback theater, wherein you improvise and playback performances out of someone else's memory or experience, and you play it, you perform it for that person or to that person. Diba may ibang effect sa'yo when you mirror, when your reality is mirrored sa'yo, and then you see it at a distance. To answer your question, ganun talaga yun, dalawa na yun. Para sa hindi yung para sa ibang tao siya, pero pwedeng para din siya sa'yo.
You said na may kakaibang effect yon kapag nami-mirror sa'yo yung experience mo. And because you write nga based on real-life events, how do you make sure that what you're mounting or what you're writing about as a playwright accurately depicts what these people went through or their stories?
Kunyari, dun sa Kapit. Because fully immersed kami dun sa story dahil kami dalawa nung partner ko yung nag-interview. Andun kami sa mismong environment nila. Tapos recorded siya. Tapos mahaba yung conversations about it. No, namin siya. Of course, we cannot say na yung reenactment namin ay eksakto sa nangyari sa kanila. It is a reimagining of it. Na parang mula sa kwento mo, ito yung naiisip kong nangyari. At ganito namin susubukang i-embody yung nangyari sa iyo. So, hindi rin siya saying na, eksakto to, ganito yung nangyari sa iyo. Hindi, susubukan namin pumasok at i-experience. Parang act of empathy siya.
Paano nakakatulong yung pagiging director mo or pagiging actor mo sa writing?
Hindi ko alam kung nakakatulong siya. Yung ibang playwright, sasabihin nila, ay nako, hindi okay na, sumusulat ka na parang director ka. Ganon. May ganon. May iba na ganon yung pananaw nila sa pagsusulat. Naniniwala din naman ako doon na iba pa rin ang craft nila. Pero siguro para sa sarili kong practice, parang ang pagiging director ay nagbibigay sa akin ng what we call this idea. Kung paano maaaring ma-stage? Ano mo yun? Is there feasible ba ito? Or gusto ko bang gawing hindi siya feasible at i-challenge yung gagawa nito? Alam mo yun, meron kang, dahil alam mo yung language, yung decision, yung kumbaga, you can be conscious about it.
Pero usually ba, when you write something, do you want other people to do it, to direct it? Or gusto mo ikaw din yung magdi-direct nun? Kasi you had something in mind already.
As a deviser, as a deviser, dahil, kunyari, ang current practice ko, quote-unquote, playwriting, ay devising. So, as a deviser, yes, parang gusto kong parte ako ng pag-mount nun. Ganon. Pero, kung we're talking about the practice of playwriting only, lalo na nung simula ko na talagang iba, very, may linya ako ng pagsusulat at linya ng pagdidirect. May ganun akong practice noon, mas bata pa ako. Okay lang sa akin na iba gumawa. Hindi ako parang, ay, akin to, gusto ko ako gagawa. Hindi. Mas natutuwa ako na may ibang nagsistage sa kanya. Kasi ibang way of looking at it. Although I also want to be able to stage it. Parang yes, I would like to be able to stage it, but I also enjoy seeing other people do it.
I think ganun yung natutulong na process na you're willing to let others do it because that's their main job. So
and also, parang it's a gift. It feels like it's a gift.
Yes.
When mounts your work, it feels like it's a gift kasi they add something to it. Tapos, sabi ko nga, ang saya nung, idea lang siya. Tapos, nabubura siya sa harap ko. Tapos, may iba silang dinadagdag. Kahit nga may baguhin sila. Pero sana pinapalam sa akin. Pero kung may baguhin sila, ibang perspective yung nabibigay sa'yo eh. Pwede pala yun. Ito pala yung ibang pagtingin doon.
And you're a very collaborative person din eh, based on your stories. So, very open ka din talaga when it comes to them, collaborating with you, changing something, giving another perspective.
Mahirap siyang gawin. Hindi madali. Kung director ka, ang hirap mag-let go nung position of power or position, yung deciding, yung position na pwede ka mag-decide, mahirap siya i-let go. Kasi yung naturo sa akin ng improv. As in, ang laking naturo sa akin ng improv ng letting go and allowing people to come in talaga and decide things. That's why even in improv lab, alam mo yun, meron akong parang space talking to myself na, may realization na kahit ito yung gusto kong mangyari, pero dahil may offer sila, hindi yun mangyayari. Pero okay lang yun. Hindi siya bad.
Yeah. Kaya maganda din na may improv eh. Pero before improv, you really had a difficulty collaborating with others as a director.
Hindi naman. Nung nag-aaral ka, tapos pumasok, kasi yun yung unang tuturo sa'yo eh. Yung traditional na model na ang director ay nasa taas at ikaw ang magde-decide ng so and so things. And I'm not saying it's a really, really bad model. I'm just saying it's a specific model that is taught to you. And so, to be able to kind of think outside of that model is, diba, it's a practice that you need to keep on doing. And you need to catch yourself. Parang, wait, I'm fitting into that model again. Wait. I have to, diba, you have to consciously decide na no, I have to open up and allow this person to come in. Parang gano'n. Ano lang siya, pagiging aware sa sarili. Yung parang nga pala. Alam mo yun, parang tapik siya na, hey, someone's coming in. Okay.
Yes. Parang gentle reminder sa'yo na okay lang na hindi lahat ng calls mo nasusunod.
Yes.
Naaaral ba yung pagsusulat ng play? Or story? Siguro kasi yung context nito is that, di ba merong mga writers sa Wattpad and wala naman silang background in writing. But they do write. And then, minsan, their stories get picked up. And, ayun, nagiging reality yung story nila, nakapalabas sa film. Naaaral ba yung pagiging magaling na writer?
Yes. Yes, naaaral ang pagiging magaling na writer. Pero hindi isa ang paraan ng pag-aaral. Naniniwala ako doon. Si Ricky Lee, naalala ko yung kwentong ito somewhere, napanood ko o narinig ko. He would retype. Nagtatrabaho siya noon. My gosh, baka mali ako. Nagtatrabaho ko sa recto or university area. Hindi ko maalala. And he would type, gumagawa siya ng mga papel para sa ibang tao. And tama ba ako na siya yun? But there was a writer who would retype other stories. Okay, si Ricky dito. Other stories na kunyari, novels or scripts. Retype it. And then that of retyping it allows them to understand and learn from the style of that writer, that voice of that writer. I mean, that's one way. There are other ways. You can go to a workshop and learn the elements and basics of how to write a script. Or you can read so many different things and find a book on playwriting and learn about it and then write. And then start writing. Start, what you call this, sharpening your craft of writing through that. You can write by having a mentor. You get learn writing by getting a mentor, and then learning from their work, reading their work, asking them questions, and then writing your own scripts, and then making that person read it and comment on your work. So maraming paraan. At least naaaral siya. Pwedeng burst of inspiration yan. Kasi, mali mo ba? May chance. Pero ang pagiging mahusay, and I think that is the qualifier, mahusay na manunulat, kinakailangan mo ng some degree in the craft siya. And parang if you want to stay in the practice for a long time, then it's a craft that you need to learn.
Ang ganda ng sagot na yon. Kung gusto mong maging magaling, you have to train a lot. Hindi lang siya basta nakukuha ng siguro 1, 2 beses ka nakapagsulat and then that's it.
At saka i-invest ka sa craft mo. Mag-invest ka ng tuto. Tapos ang masaya doon, hindi siya parang school na sila magde-determine ng curriculum mo. Ikaw magde-decide paano ka matututo.
Yeah. Isa, syempre nandun na tayo sa topic of being a good writer. And when you say someone is a good writer, that person makes a good story. Ano yung sa tingin mo na criteria for a good story?
Okay. Kung dami. So I was looking at notes from film school a couple of hours ago because I'm supposed to write a testimony for my mentor who is going to be nominated for as a national artist. Okay. And I go back to what she said. Teka lang, titignan ko ulit. Baka pag sinabi ko. Sabi niya, ayan, these are the things that you need to think about when you're doing a story. Who do you love? How much? What kind of sacrifices? Because what is at stake? So again, who do you love? How much? What kind of sacrifices will you do? Because what is at stake? So when you're telling a story, naniniwala ako that a good story has this. That you have to think of yung who is that? Who's that character? Who? Tapos sino yung mahal niya? gaano niya kamahal ito, or ano ang mahal niya, gaano niya kamahal ito. Ano yung klaseng sacrifices na gagawin niya para dito. Dahil, what is at stake kung hindi niya ma-serve itong purpose na to o yung minamahal niya. So, yun yung shinare niya about how do you create a story na may puso. Sabi niya, yun yung kwento, nagiging importante siya kung may puso siya.
Ganda. Yung mentor mo po nun, may contact number ka po niya?
Yung na yun ay si Direk Marilu Diaz Abaya. Way a couple of years ago.
Nice. Napakabigatin ng ating guest ngayon. Niya na ang lahat. Ni-notes ko muna, Miss Issa, ha? Pangatlo ay what is. Because of what is at stake. Yeah. Ayun, nagkakaroon ka ba ng creative block, ng writer's block? And,
Opo. Lahat na meron.
pero how do you jump over that? Wow, literal ba may block?
My gosh. Siyempre, iba-ibang sitwasyon, di ba? Iba't ibang conditions. Walang iisang solution sa writer's block or creative block. Lalo na for a director. Ang may block pa, yung parang beses mo nang binabalikan yung eksena, pero parang hindi nag-work yung eksena kahit anong gawin mo. Tapos alam mo, hindi yung actor ito, ikaw ito, may hindi ka nagagawa or hindi mo nagagawa ng nasa-set up ng maayos yung eksena. You flip it. Kunyari, isang eksena, tapos nire-rehearse mo siya. Di siya nag-work. Di talaga siya nag-work. Sobrang guluhin mo siya. Ibahin mo siya. I mean, just to get yourself out of that rut or that parang blinders. I mean, find a way to get those blinders off. Paano mo maaalog, masya-shape yung parang nakasanayan. So, yun yung naisip kong way to any writers or actors or creative block. You have to shake it up. There's something stagnant there. So, you need to change something. Or you can ask a friend. You can ask someone to come in, look at it, what are you seeing? Kasi maybe that other person is seeing something that you're not seeing. Or you do something, umexit ka. tigil mo rehearsal mo, break tayo. Do something else. Do something that you like doing or not like doing. Alam mo yun, you really need to shake things up for yourself. Para when you come back in, parang you have at least a semblance of fresh eyes. Pag writer, ginagawa ko, hate ko yan. Kaya I step out and I come back in. Or there's an instance na you muscle through it. Sige, gawin mo lang. Tapos, edi scrap. Alam mo yun, yung pag binalikan mo, pangit, it just had to come out. Then write it all out until you get to what you really wanted to write.
Nice. Basta gawin mo lang, and then kung di maganda, edi ulit. At least you just kept going.
Oo. Pero dapat smart ka din para hindi ka rin pinapagod yung... Kasi diba sabi niya, si Einstein ba yun? If you do a mistake, oh my God, baka mali na naman ako. If you do something again and again, and nothing changes, alam mo, parang ganon, you need to change something.
Yeah, oo. Hindi pwedeng paulit-ulit kung same result ang nakukuha mo. If you wanted a different result, then you have to change something in your process.
Yes.
Tama naman. Sige. Isa, ito na lang yung mga last question. Siguro very general ito and contextualized sa nangyayari recently. Recently talaga. Sa dami ng nangyayari today, what is the relevance of theater in all of this?
Okay. When the pandemic started, the theater industry took a big hit because mass gatherings were not allowed. It wasn't safe. Therefore, shows were canceled. People lost jobs. And it was so painful for a lot of people. And economically talaga, very, very hard. And it's hard also now, even up to now, to go back and find projects, diba? And for a time, may malaking pag-aagam, parang takot, na parang, will we ever find theater again? Will we ever find ourselves on stage again, performing to a live audience? And then when people started migrating online and doing online performances, parang people were asking, is this theater? Is this really theater? Or because it's not live, then it's not theater? Are we just bridging? Is this just bridging our experience until we again do live performances? And other scholars are saying, no, but because this is happening right now, it is still live. Parang may mga ganong arguments. Pero sa akin ngayon, hindi na siya essential na tanungin pa kung theater ba to? Hindi ba to theater? Mabubuhay pa ba ang theater? And this is just for me. And other people might not agree with me. Theater, when you're in it, and it's your practice, it's your main language. Remember when we were doing Kapit, at that time, a year after Yolanda, we really wanted to help out people, but we had no means. I didn't have a lot of money. I can't just donate. I don't have the power to save people. I'm not a doctor. And what can I do? I can tell stories. And so, I find a way to make what I know and what my language can do in order to contribute to what I want to happen. And so right now, even if my language is storytelling, even if the medium is done online or in person or with a small group of people, what matters is I use what I know in order to attain an objective that can better a lot of people or people in my community. So, artists, parang questionin mo pa ba ang halaga mo when ikaw as a person sa community mo, kita mo yung nangyayari? Diba? You don't question na may spasyo ba para sa akin? Ang question ay, anong gagawin mo? Paano ka gagawa ng spasyo para makagawa? Alam mo yan, to contribute. Yun yung pananaw ko.
Ang ganda nun. Parang kahit ano pang medium, yan, performance or online, live, ang bottom line is how do you make use of the platform that you're given, whatever that is, to tell the relevant stories that should be heard by everyone. Ganda.
Lalo na ngayon, di ba? Kasi ang tanong ay, labanan pala, narrative wars, story wars, di ba? Yun yung usapan ngayon.
Yes.
So, mas lalo ng importante ang boses ng artists o kaya ng storytellers. Anong kwento ang kwento mo?
Yes, tama. So, very relevant talaga. Now more than ever, yung theater. Maybe not as we know it before the pandemic, pero right now na nag-evolve ang times to tell our stories, tell the stories of others who can't tell theirs, diba? And amplify their messages, amplify their stories. Kasi we have that platform. Wow, we nakikisama. We have that platform to give voice to those who are not so much heard. Ang ganda nun. Sige. Last question na Isa, okay lang. Last question. Ano yung ma-advise mo sa mga aspiring actors, directors, or writers, lalo na ngayon sa context natin na pandemic, but they really want to be in the performing arts?
One is, for any creative person, there's a fire in you, there's that interest, there's that magic in you that you can't ignore, and you have to listen to it. And kunyari, gusto mong maging aktor, humanap ka ng paraan para ma-pursue mo siya. At tulad ng sabi ko kanina, kailangan mo ng training. So, maghanap ka ng workshop, mag-enroll ka kung kailangan magklase, manood ka ng mga paborito mong aktor o palabas, magbasa ka ng mga script, find the network. Importante yon, that you have to find the community that will support you. You can't do it alone. You have to find a community that will support what you want to do. If you want to be a director, find a community that will allow you to learn how to become a director. But also, huwag mong kakalimutan na, ang tawag dito, kaya mo ding mag-aral mag-isa. Yung sinasabi ko kanina na, daming paraan para mag-aral. Huwag kang matakot na, oh my God, hindi ako aral dito. Paano ko siya gagawin? Subukan mo siya. Get your feet wet. Alam mo yon? Try it out. And then, once you try it out, it of course it won't be perfect if you're doing it for the first time, di ba? Or malay mo for the first time, oh my God, ang galing niya. Pero sabi ko nga, if you want to do this for a long time and this is what you really want, then you keep at it. You keep wanting to improve it and questioning whatever you're doing. Again, si Direk Marilu would say that a camera is like a weapon. So anyone, we have our phones, right? We have our digital cameras, our DSLRs, ganyan. And you can just point at any subject and then cover that subject and may record. It's so easy to Facebook Live anything. And, alam mo yun, even with Zoom. Pero, like a weapon, you need to be able to know how to responsibly use it. So you have to be responsible. Where do you point or where do you aim your camera? So if you're talking about what you do, if you're a director, if you're an actor, and your camera is your medium, then you have to learn how to use it, or else you won't have the power or the consciousness to be able to, shape kung saan mo dadalhin yung medium mo. Ikaw naman yung magdadrive ng medium mo. Hindi naman, oh my God, bahala ng acting sa akin. Hindi. Ikaw mamanipulate ng skill mo. So, para mamanipulate mo siya, dapat alam mo siya paano mo siya gagamitin. So, aralin mo siya. That's it.
Thank you so much, Isa. Salamat. That ends yung kwentuhan session natin for today.
Sana nag-enjoy kayo sa kwentuhan session natin with Isa. Sobra akong nabusog at punong-puno ng insights and learnings from my kwentuhan session with her. And I hope na kayo rin, marami rin kayong nakuha. I'm sure marami. And siguro, isa sa mga pinaka nagustuhan ko sa kwentuhan session namin with Isa is that she is so generous in sharing her expertise, inside tips sa creative process niya as an actor, as a director, and also as a writer. Sobrang humble ni Isa to think na sobrang ito na siyang level, pero pinaunlakan niya tayo sa ating kwentuhan session at sobrang dami niyang binigay. Sobrang generous. Thank you, Isa, for allowing us to have a kwentuhan session with you and to learn from you. And isa sa mga favorite ko siguro na natutunan is that pwedeng meron tayong talent when it comes to, for example, the performing arts, pero kailangan nating mag-aral. Kailangan nating mag-train, kailangan natin ng feedback from others. So go for it if you really want it, if it's your passion. But then again, you have to also know that you have to develop the skill for it. Hindi lang siya basta magaling ka lang and then that's it, you're a natural. Pero you have to study. Kasi ganun din si Issa. Siguro isa pang gusto ko about Issa is that she is so open to collaboration. She does not see that her ideas are superior sa ibang tao, but she is so willing to listen to other people, take in their suggestions or ideas, and work with them. That's also a sign of humility kasi nakikita niya yung value din ng ideas ng ibang tao and alam niya na merong mako-contribute din yung mga katrabaho niya sa work nila as a whole. So, ang galing. Na-admire ko si Issa because of that. So, yun lang. Thank you so much, guys. We hope that you enjoyed the episode with Issa. Till our next episode. Bye!